Lo and behold, my friends, a new chicken run. You can see the older existing run back here in the distance. So my whole idea when I started building these was that, you know, it would be I'm trying to think what the word is here, somewhat modular, but you know, ideally make it so that I could add on or take off space if I ever needed to. But just a couple of the features of the new one. My most favorite feature is that it's much taller. It's close to 7 feet high inside height. So whereas in the older run, you know, nearly bumping my head against the ceiling, in this one let me try to get the gate unlatched here so we can go inside. I didn't want to go in the other end, have to trip over the birds because they're drinking. I was a bad boy and I let their water get a little low. Yeah, so anyway, you can see up here above our heads, we're at least, let's see, I'm 5'8" and I've got at least 6 inches, so plenty of headspace in here. What I've ran into on the older portion is I've thrown all these leaves and stuff in here, and I've raised the substrate level by a couple inches, and so now when I walk in there, my head is brushing the ceiling. You can see the difference here. So here's the ceiling height, the old one. Here's the ceiling height of the new one. So we're about 8 inches higher. I guess that's 7 inches higher. So it certainly works well. But I've got all this extra space over here now. It added 50 square feet to the run, which is still not enough in my opinion. I mean, the birds will have this dug down to dirt, no problem. There's no grass in here now, and there won't be. They won't let me sprout. So it's not a cure-all. I hope to someday, you know, extend it on out and let them be able to run out through the rain barrels around the compost bin, and then, you know, back here beyond that is where my bee yard is. I'd like them to be able to run all the way back there, but it's just going to require a lot of building to have, you know, covered runs on all this. So, what y'all got to remember is I'm in the suburbs and I'm not supposed to have these chickens. So whereas I'm trying to expand it as much as I can so they have more run, I have to be very careful with how I do that and try to keep it low key. What I'm hoping to do in here along this wall is use it for outdoor storage, even though my wife has already told me no way, she doesn't want me to do that. I'm hoping to be able to build some shelves, even if they're only about 16 inches wide along here. I told her, you know, if I build shelves, they're not going to make this space feel crowded. She feels claustrophobic in here in the old coop run, which makes sense. It's only 2.5 feet wide there, so there's no sense. There's no reason, or sorry, it's only 2 feet wide, and so yeah, it certainly makes her claustrophobic. It makes me claustrophobic. But this one is a lot wider, so if I build small shelves across, it'll be fine. But some of the things I did differently that I think are better is in the old run, I put the studs on edge, like a stud wall would be in a house, and then I notched them around the top plate and the bottom plate. What I did on the extension was I put them flat, and I just put toenail screws in it. See, you know, screw toenail there, screw toenail here. So I did toenails, and just by doing that, I actually added, you know, about 2 inches on either side of the run. And I know that sounds minuscule, but that adds up to a couple of extra square feet at least, and it certainly makes the run feel bigger, especially to do that on all walls, to have them, you know, be flat studded instead of perpendicular like the existing ones are. We built the coop in the run in 5 pieces. That was the real key. You can see I did the same cross bracing with the straps and everything, but we built it in 5 pieces. So we built this wall panel, this end panel, this wall panel, that end panel, and the ceiling as 5 different components. So what that allowed us to do was we were able to work in the driveway in a flat space, build the component, screw it all together, square it all up, nail on the chicken wire, and then just carry the finished component back here to put it together. I say we because my father-in-law helped me do it. We did this yesterday. You know, 2 guys working at it all day. I mean, with 2 guys, it took us maybe 6 hours of total work time. We had to take little breaks to go around and buy supplies and stuff, but probably about 6 hours of true work time. So it took us a little while, but it certainly helped to have him here because I wouldn't have been able to move these big wall panels by myself. They're 10 feet long by 7 feet high. So anyway, it certainly was worth it. I'm happy to have the extension. I've got to do a little bit more work, shore up around the insides. Chickens are already digging at the edges, and I've got to pile up dirt on the outside, try to keep varmints out should they try to come in. Yeah, that's mostly it. Like I said, I just want to share with you some of the things I did different, some of the better ideas. You can see it's not level. That's because we had it setting up on blocks, and then we dug the trench all the way around, and we just didn't trench deep enough on that side. So I may or may not come back through and trench it later to make it right, but in all honesty, I don't really care if it's level. It's just an old chicken pen, so I don't really, it doesn't have to be perfect. If I'm going to build shelves in here, it'd be nice if they're level, but I'm not worried. It's not really structural. It doesn't really matter if it's level or not. So anyway, looks like the birds have about got their fill on water, so that's good. I'm probably going to go refill that water once they're all done drinking. I'll go refill it and put it back up in the coop where it belongs. I am working on automatic watering for them, poultry nipples with a float tank, and once that's all done and proven to work, I'll make a video on it as well and tell you guys how I did it. I think it's a pretty clever little idea. I just have to make sure it works before I go bragging on it. So anyway, the last best feature, of course, was that this was the existing door that used to be on this end of the old run. We just took it off its hinges. We built this frame to be the same size door space and just moved the door. So I didn't have to build a second door. That's one of the best features about it, I think. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and cut this off. I've got to try to latch this door from the inside out, and that's going to be difficult. So that's it for now. Hope y'all like it.